Salute, comrades. You're now tuned in to the Unchained Truth, Voices from Behind the Walls. I'm your host, William Thomas McCallum Jr., founder and freedom fighter amplifying the unheard voices from within. This is the truth being unchained for those locked away and silenced behind the walls of injustice. The men and women whose voices have been buried beneath steel, stigma, and silence. This is their battleground for truth. Here, no one is overlooked, and their truths aren't ignored, erased, or rewritten. They're raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real. Whether they're doing time for past mistakes or enduring the weight of injustice, their stories matter, and they will be heard. This is about human lives where dialogue needs to be sparked, reform needs to be ignited, and liberation needs to be demanded. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We're not begging for sympathy. We're building a movement for change. So stay tuned in, stay locked in. This is the Unchained Truth. Welcome to the revolution. Okay, Ms. Jordan Casey, how much time did you serve, and what were you incarcerated for?
So altogether, with my jail credit and everything, I ended up doing, I think it was like 14 or 15 months, if I'm not mistaken, and I was incarcerated for, I had two separate charges. At one point in time, I had 38 pending felonies out of Henderson and Buncombe County. And what I got charged with when they consolidated my stuff is two Class 8 felonies. I have a possession of a stolen motor vehicle on one, and possession of methamphetamine. And then the other Class 8 is 2 counts of forging and uttering, 2 counts of forging an instrument, and 2 counts of credit card fraud.
Girl, you're very busy.
Yeah. I was.
Okay. What helped you mentally and emotionally get through your time inside?
Honestly, I'm just going to keep it real with you. So I am a recovering addict. I haven't always been in recovery. That's where probably a lot of my charges came from. But when I was in there, I remember, the day before I went in, having lunch with my mom and her new boyfriend. I hadn't seen her in probably well over a year. And thinking, when I messaged her and told her that I was going, that I didn't know how much time I was going to have and stuff, my mom, she's given me way more chances than I deserve, but just going to eat with her and stuff, I remember being I don't know how this is going to end up. And just her giving me one more chance and being able to call home and stuff really is what helped me the most. But honestly, my faith in God, I found God again in prison, and I've spent 15 years running from me, and shocker, you can't run from yourself. So
that's right.
That gave me a lot of time to sit back and look at me and what I was doing wrong, and that's a hard pill to swallow when you're the problem.
You're definitely right about that. Self-evaluation is one of the biggest keys to learning yourself and learning how to grow and get past your faults and accepting the responsibilities in your actions.
Yeah.
Okay. When were you released? And how did that moment feel?
Okay, so did you say when or where?
When?
So I was released November 11th, I believe it was, of 2023.
Okay.
And it was, I don't know, it was, so I was at Youth Correctional. Honestly, I remember just sitting up and receiving and, praying to God I did not get stuck in 12 o'clock count. And I was, shaking and nervous, and I just was I had been in there and I know. I've been in there and gotten so used to, a routine and things like that. I was just holy crap, what's going to happen? And is this going to go good? Is it going to go bad? It was just the fear of the unknown and change, but change is a beautiful thing if you allow it to happen.
while incarcerated, did you ever participate in any programs, like educational, vocational, faith-based?
I sure did. So I was actually in ACDC, and I've done treatment, I've done detox, and ACDC, so, it's really all what you make. You either learn from it and you actually change your ways, or you just be up your way through your program. But for me, it's okay, something. For me, it was just an opportunity to really look at myself and things like that, and that program really helped me a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
How was your reentry experience? Did your system provide any meaningful support during your transition back into society?
Not really, but I think more or less that's because I was coming back and leaving back with my mom.
Yeah.
After I got out, so I was able to move in with her, and I got out in November, and by March I had my own place again. I had a car, my driver's license, all of that, all the things, and which from my understanding, that is extremely hard to get. But I remember it took me, 8 years just to get all that back, and it was just, it blew my mind that I could actually, if I put my head to it, I could get myself straight, because that's what I wanted to do.
What was the very first thing you did?
This call is from the North Carolina Correctional Facility.
What was the very first thing you did for yourself once you were free?
I went and ate at Sonny's Barbecue.
Sonny's Barbecue?
Yes, sir, yes.
That sounds like your favorite place to go right here.
Listen, I'm a big girl. I love me some food. And I'm so sick of them chicken patties and them question mark patties and everything else. I was just, honestly, I was grateful for, the small things. I remember before I went to prison, I was it's not a big deal to take a shower and have a place to sleep and have a family and things like that. But, I really, once I was there and I see these girls that have no family, that don't know what it's like to be able to call home or have somebody put on their approved list and stuff like that. You learn to be grateful for the small things.
That's right. That's right about that. There are people here that are less fortunate than others.
Mm-hmm.
They struggle on a day-to-day basis, and they have to cope with whatever the system provides for them. And that's not much.
No, it's not.
So that leads me to my next question. Based on your experience, what do you think are the biggest issues within the prison system that need to be addressed?
Oh, boy, that list is long. So my thing is probably definitely the number one thing is the condition of prison. When I was on reception in Raleigh, there is no air. Okay, number one, when you're on reception, because you're not, classified, or you don't know what color you're going to be at, you're in these dorms, with all these women and stuff, and there's a lot of animosity when people get hot and things like that. And number two is, I think another part of the biggest issue is you got women and stuff in there that are asking for help. They're, putting in request forms. They're trying to get jobs and things like that. And it's from my point of view personally, I feel like it shouldn't matter how much time you have. If you want to get a job, or if you want to do this just to keep yourself busy, that should be something that is an option, because an idle mind is the devil's playground.
That's right.
And you can only read so many books, and things like that. So I just feel like there should be more options and avenues for jobs and things like that.
If you had the chance to speak to chance to speak directly to lawmakers or those in power, what would you say needs to change within the justice system?
I would say that people that are incarcerated or who are currently incarcerated or have been, we are more than just a number or a book bed or a cell or whatever. And that, at the end of the day, yes, we have committed these crimes and we are there because of our choices, but we're still people. We still have, emotions and stuff, and, the conditions of some of the places that people are at, it's just, it's inhumane.
That's right. That's in the women's facility. In the men's facility, we go through the same things as well, like the mold in the bathroom, the uncleanliness of the blocks of the doors, and we don't get the supplies that we need to clean what we should. So, it's a lot that we go through here. So I definitely understand what you speak about when you speak about the condition.
Yeah, and I think another thing too is I get that close custody is close custody, right? But they're keeping people in cells and stuff, not letting them shower, not letting them do this and that, and it's if that is all that you have to do that helps your mental health, what the hell are they doing? It's mold, there's, bugs and shit in my mouth. There's bugs in the food, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, it really just makes me upset.
See, and that's the purpose of what we do right here at the Unchained Truth. We try to make sure that lawmakers, legislators, the governor, the top officials of the prison system, of the NCDAC, know and understand that we're still human beings.
Right.
And that we still have rights. Those rights have to be respected and honored. So therefore, do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Do what's right, for us as human beings. Because if they were all in this situation themselves, they would want it to be right themselves too as well. They would want to be treated as human beings. Because we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
That's a fact.
Let me ask you, are you currently employed? If so, what
I
kind of
am.
work are you doing?
So I actually, I take care of high-risk behaviorally challenged special needs adults.
Okay.
I've been doing that. My boss is actually my mom.
Seconds remaining.
Is my mother, but I grew up with the people that I take care of. We've had most of them since I was 2 or 3. But I love my job.
That's great. And if you will, just take a second and let me call back.
Absolutely.
The Unchained Truth will continue. I'm not saying that you love your job. What portion of those in life objectives are you focusing on today?
So, I like to work, okay, but my goals and stuff right now is I just had a baby in February. He is about to be 6 months old, and unfortunately, I lost custody of my older son because of my choices as an addict and things like that, but my goal in life right now is just to be the best version of myself that I can be for not only me, but for him. And I have kept a job and maintained bills and paying all my bills for well over a year now. I'm so sorry about the dogs in the background. For well over a year. My clean date's actually February the 14th. I'll have 3 years clean, so. But it's just,
congratulations.
Thank you. I never really had to grow up before I was a prison. I just, I didn't really care about it. So now, when I came home, it was definitely that I was finally being an adult and learning how to do all the things,
I love it. Yeah, congratulations, though.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How can you really better support people coming home from incarceration?
Me personally, I feel like there should be more options, especially for people that don't have families and things. Like,
This call is from North Carolina Correctional Facility.
Halfway houses are all fine and well and stuff like that, but there's still, it's complicated, especially for people that, if you're not an addict coming out of there, which 9 times out of, from my experience, from what I've seen, that's usually what it is. But there's not a lot of avenues for finding resources as far as like housing and transportation and all that stuff. Yeah, you got that, Mom?
Yeah, so they definitely need to create more programs and resources and have more resources available for guys and girls getting out of prison.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I definitely want to work on when I get out of prison myself. I get out in 2031, and the nonprofit that I want to create, that I already have the blueprint designed for, me and help with those type of situations.
Right. I think that's great. Me personally, I want to look about and see about getting involved in coming into the prisons and stuff and talking to other women and things like that, because I just feel like I was raised in a home where you give back. Like since I was little, like we've done soup kitchens and the veterans quarters up in Asheville. We cook meals for people like so where I live is when the hurricane happened. So I live in Polk County, which is not very far off from Asheville. We weren't ready, So then after that, then you had all of those wildfires and stuff, and that was like less than a mile from my house.
Yeah.
And we were able to feed like firefighters and pass out emergency stuff and things like that. Which I thought was cool.
Now, let me ask you this here. What advice would you give to those still incarcerated, especially in terms of what you expect, how to prepare for life after release?
Just to never give up. Like it's a bad day, not a bad life. Like things might get hard, and especially if you feel like there's no end to it, like you're never going to come home and things like that. But I would also say is like pray. If that's what you do. Like prayer is a real thing. And I remember I prayed every single day, morning and night, and if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have all of the things that I have now.
So what does freedom mean to you now, after all you've been through?
Being able to be myself and not have a problem with it. Being able to, like, get up in the morning and know that, like, all of the things that I have are, that they all fell into place because I never gave up. And that, nothing in life that you want or work for is going to come easy. And if it does, then it's not meant for you.
So, when you came home, what was your family's reaction?
Oh, that's well, my family's always been very raw and real about things, and I have done quite a bit of damage to my family. As a matter of fact, 11 of the families I got were from taking business checks from my own mother from her company, which, that's, now when I look back on it, I regret it, but it wouldn't have made me who I am now with all of the choices I've made,
Yeah.
And I just lost my complete train of thought. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. We're just thinking about your family's reaction when you came home.
Yes.
What you did to your mother and everything, and all of the mistakes that you made,
So, my mother is a more forgiving person because she is also a recovered. Sister, on the other hand, my older sister is the one that has raised my oldest son. And she was just she wasn't for it, and she wasn't happy about it. She was tired of watching and cause, all of this just destruction and chaos all the time. But, I used to always have a problem with thinking that just because I was doing better that everybody should just be like, oh my God, she's so perfect, she's so great. But that's not the case. Like, you can say all of these things, but unless you put action behind the things that you are saying, it don't mean nothing. So it took them a while to, they were just like, okay, well, when is she going to leave again? When is she going to relapse again? This, that, and the other. And they had every right to feel like that because I can't tell you how many times I would get clean for, 30, 60, 90 days, 8 months, 9 months, and then go back out. Because it was just a cycle that I thrived on. And it's not, it's not like that now. Like, I like to go home and work, and that's all I do.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
That's good. I want you to stay focused and stay disciplined. Focus on your dreams, focus on your goals, your objectives, and everything that you got going on in life. I know times can get hard. Mm-hmm. It's hard for everybody.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? We got to stay strong, though. Stay focused and focus on what matters. It's necessary.
And you can never forget where you came from and where you've been.
That's right. That's right. So in this case,
what's that?
What message would you share with young people who may be heading down the wrong path?
If your family is telling you that the friends and the people that you are choosing to be around and associate with are not good news because of experiences that they've been through, it's going to be the truth. Like, I remember being, 14, 15 years old, and I was like, man, my family's old. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But everything, literally everything, my family or anybody that ever loved me and wanted what was best for me, all of it came true. They were 150% right. Like, be careful who you trust. Be careful what kind of situations you put yourself in. You don't have to fit in. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to feel like, you're kind of like an outsider, like you don't really have a box to be put in. Like, it is okay to be different.
So, since you've been home, how has your relationship with friends or the community changed?
I don't really have any friends anymore. I mean, I might have, I can count. I used to be able to be like, oh, I got all these friends. I got over 1,000 friends on Facebook, hell to the no. Like, I can count all of the people that I associate with now on one hand. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Mm-hmm.
That's a very important lesson. So, what role has forgiveness, whether of yourself or others, played in your journey?
Cool. That right there that's a heavy one. So, for years and years and years, I blamed everybody else for where I was at in life. And at the end of the day, forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for it's for you. I remember being like, well, my oldest son's dad used to hit on me and things like that. Like, like, that doesn't matter. I allowed myself to continue to stay in a situation like that until I was no longer in it. And forgiveness, like, I would not be where I am if it wasn't for, second, third, fourth, 100 chances. And people can say, oh, I'm sorry, but again, if there's no action behind it, if you're not changing your behaviors or how you react to situations, then are you really sorry?
And even on behalf of the world that was on phone, telling you all these things that you should do, and like your mother, she forgives you, she forgave you, right?
Yes.
Yes, and your mother's forgiveness and everything is something that help once you understand that business is possible.
Yes, because I'm telling you right now, like, if she would not have forgave me, like, this time I really feel like she knows that I truly have changed, because in the beginning I was like, you know, she's not seeing it and things like that, but here we are 2 years and some change later, and, like, I get just random text messages from her, like, hey, I'm proud of you. Like, you really are not the same person that you were a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, you know, and
That's right.
she is a lot, yeah, exactly. It really does.
That's right. That's exactly what I was looking for. This has been a wonderful interview. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners? Any words of wisdom or encouragement?
Just that I appreciate you and what you're doing and this movement that you've started, and you are doing wonderful things. And I really feel in my heart that your release date is not going to be that far out. And it's a keep hope. And I appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your honesty, your strength, and your willingness to share your story. Your voice adds to a larger movement for justice, restoration, and change. And the Unchained Truth, we believe that lived experiences are the most powerful form of testimony. And your journey is a reminder that redemption is real, second chances matter, and no one should be defined solely by their past. We honor your growth, your resilience, and your return. Your story may be the spark that inspires someone else to keep pushing forward. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I want you to just stay focused on everything that you got going on in life. Continue to do as you're doing.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Peace for the Unchained Truth.